Okay, please welcome the next group on human life extension.
I'm Jenna, this is Corinne, Ashley, Claudia, Courtney, and Carol. So our project's going to our grant proposal that we're trying to raise funding for is the promising results of bone marrow transplantation and human life extension. So the fountain of youth has been mentioned in countless documents, dramas, and stories. Even the Greeks and Romans believed in immortal gods. Reaching a stage of endless life has been such a popular theme that even today we still watch movies like Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp on the big screen searching for a fountain that will reverse the ravages of time. People don't want to die young. They want to live well into old age with happy, contented lives. Human life extension can allow for people to live the lives that they love living longer. However, there are a few controversies about the topic, and religious beliefs can play a role in how people view the subject. For example, people of the Roman Catholic Church generally share the belief that by allowing the population of elders to grow, they will consequently crowd youth out of society. On the other hand, religions like Judaism feel that with radical human life extension, people will be able to give more back to their community with their extended time on Earth. Even though there are a lot of arguments against research for human life extension, like overpopulation and possible unethical uses of technology, the grant proposal we're trying to raise money for can do more than just make somebody live longer. Bone marrow transplantation can be used for body restoration and healing that can result in higher quality and longer lives. And bone marrow transplantation is basically taking the stem cells from either the person at that time and then saving them for later. And then as they get old, you can inject the stem cells into the person. And the idea is those stem cells that were taken at when they were younger have fewer genetic mistakes built up in them. So when they're injected into the older person, then since those genetic mistakes aren't there, when they start dividing, they won't start creating more problems like the other systems.
Human life extension is a topic that is still trying to be understood by scientists, so that creates more of a controversy and less understanding for the civilian world. So experiments for human life extension are usually conducted on smaller organisms such as mice or rats. And while this does give a better understanding of life extension, it's not as accurate for human life extension, which is why we would like to conduct experiments on monkeys since they are larger organisms. Controversy not only falls on whether human life extension is right or wrong, which plays a part into political and religious views, but also who's going to be in charge of it, what's the cost, what's the availability.
Human life extension addresses the controversy of lengthening of human life and how this can be ethically performed. And the average length of human life in the United States is 78 years. Only a brief 78 years to serve our country, be with family and friends, cure diseases, write books that change lives, and do many other things that can have huge impacts. With human life extension, the time to accomplish all these feats increases significantly, adding up to decades of life for people everywhere. Now the main problem is, how do we do this? How do we give the people of the United States more of the time that is so precious to them? The answer is bone marrow transplantation. But with scientific and governmental regulations and interfering parties, research on this topic has been hard to come by. However, if money is provided, our highly qualified researchers will take bone marrow transplantation and transform it into a solidified method of human life extension, giving the people of the United States much more than a mere 78 years. Now, you've heard me talk a lot about lengthening life in the United States, and that is the initial plan. But once human life extension is popularized in the United States, we can take this to a bigger level. Behind me, you can see a graph of the average length of human life in all continents. Now, after with the funded research, we can take human life extension and bone marrow transplantation and take it all over the world, making human life longer and better for everybody, not just people of the United States.
our group wants to start bone marrow transplant tests on monkeys. This is an important step to take because it show possible problems that we would have to work out before just testing the start on monkeys. These problems can range from unwanted side effects to the bone marrow transplants just not working. Bone marrow transplants are the more feasible idea at this stage compared to some of the others, such as cybernetics, cryogenics, or reversal of information entropy. Another feasible idea that has been tried several times is caloric restriction, but we want to try something new.
As you can see on the table behind me, it shows how much we'll need for everything. Our total comes to $215,000 and 500, so pretty much $216,000 with we have a safety net of $84,000 just in case any laboratories break or travel costs. We need 3 monkeys. We need 2 monkeys, mother and a father that will have a child, and we'll also have a control monkey. The child monkey will be used to take out the stem cells from the bone marrow, and once the parents get older, we'll inject them from the baby into the parents. And then we're also using 1 full-time researcher, 2 part-time researchers in the laboratory. Our proposal, you can tell what happens in our overall outcome by if the monkey's life expectancy increases, and also if there's a brain drain in the overall monkey population once you further test the monkeys.
Okay, so throughout this entire presentation, we've gone over why human life extension is important, what goals we have to set in further times, and how we're going to achieve it. Our goals for this specific experiment is to test the reliability on bone marrow transplant and how we're going to spread it out to the public and take that off. Okay, so as a group, we all believe our biotechnology subject is the most important because we have researched it and it's everyone's life. So we're not only affecting other people's lives, we're affecting your lives and people that you love and your loved ones. Okay, so if we find new and unknown information throughout this is going to affect our entire future. So, like other groups have done today, they're just simply spreading the knowledge out. We're not only spreading the knowledge out, but we're going to do a whole entire experiment that can totally change the future and how we look at human life extension. And our lives, or your lives, are in our hands. So, please take
how long that's going to take you, and then can you just keep doing the process over and over, and like how far can you do that?
You would do it with different monkeys. So it'd be like your first group, and then you would see how much after the average of all monkeys without doing the testing, and then you would do it with the monkeys that got the testing. And if it extended their lives, then you would take another group of monkeys, 3 monkeys, same ones, and then you would just do the same exact process.
It's basically like any experimental design where you have to retest it over and over again to really get an exact number.
Well, I mean, like, all right, so in the same organism, you transplant one time, and they live for approximately like 2 years. You then do another transplantation to prevent them from dying, to give them another 2 years, and do like a repetitive process.
No, so like you're taking the stem cells out of them while they're young. And so once you put all those stem cells back in them, you don't have any more because all the stem cells that are left are older and therefore not effective for bone marrow transplantation.
Are you not able to like preserve a certain amount of stem cells?
Yes, Steve, well, part of what we're going to be doing in our research is we're going to be finding out exactly how much or how many stem cells we need to inject in order to get the results that we desire.
So I'm still a little confused on how bone marrow can extend your life.
So we'd be using the stem cells from bone marrow, not just like, there are like stem cells for every organ, and bone marrow, they grow a lot, and you can just inject them into the bone, and then that would affect the structure.
In order to understand this, you have to know like really what aging is. And so basically how aging works is like the telomerase, which are on your telomeres and your DNA, they erode over time, and that's what produces the effects of aging. And so what we're going to do is we would inject cells that do not have the eroded telomerase.
Would it be possible to take stem cells that you would have to process like duplicate them with like complications that you could reinsert later?
I guess that we could test that, but I guess right now with our initial research, we're going to see if this is actually a realistic method of human life extension for humans.
Plus, when you start replicating those stem cells, like during cell replication, that's when the errors that occur that produce aging that we're trying to remove.
So you mentioned that some testing has already been done on mice and rats. What was the extension of their life?
So rats actually had a life extension of 4 extra years, which is roughly about twice their average lifespan. So we have a lot of potential to increase the human life to almost up twice as much like the rats were.
So, like, people living longer is great and all, but that also means less people are dying, and so your birth to death rate gets greatly skewed, so that a lot more people are being born, a lot less people are dying, and scientists are already suggesting that by the year 2050, the world's going to reach population capacity. So Earth isn't going to support any more people. So with less people dying, that rate's going to grow a lot faster. So overpopulation will happen a lot sooner. So what happens then when the Earth's overpopulated and no one's dying?
We're not doing research into the effects. We're just seeing how it can be done.
Also, the same a guy just like you named Thomas Malthus actually came up with that idea, and we proved him wrong because he said that in the 1800s he was like, well, our human population is going to exceed the amount of food that we're going to be able to have to feed people, and then the Green Revolution happened, and then that never happened. So with our scientific research, we're going to be giving people more life, and then we're going to be assuming that the science behind like.
So you think there's going to be like another sort of green revolution?
I'm not necessarily implying that, but I'm also saying that with our bone marrow transplantation, people aren't just going to be getting old and feeble. We're going to be actually having people that are still in their young and very able bodies to come up with certain things like that. So like I said in one of my slides, we're going to have more time to cure diseases and come up with new ideas. And so really, it's going to be extending that just collective learning and how to actually make more room for everybody.
Well, the Earth is only a certain amount of size. It can only support so many people.
And also, I'm not saying death is inevitable. Death is inevitable, and we're just going to, you know, we're gonna increase the amount of time before you die.
You're still gonna die.
So like, so that you're gonna use this one, so like, test out how long do they live? Like in the year that you have set up those research in the lab, are they gonna like live long enough? Or like, do they live too long for the experiment? Like if they live like 20 years, you're not gonna see if they're
So the two parents are gonna have the baby, so we don't really need the baby after we take its stem cells. But how long the parents live depends on if the whole experiment works with putting stem cells in parents. So it just depends.
I like their like average lifespan.
The average lifespan for a monkey, that's going to be about 10 to 15 years.
So transplantation. So when you get older, you like you get wrinkles, you know, things that. So when you do the transplantation, and say like age 60, and you already have the wrinkles and stuff, does it prevent further like processing the aging effect, or is it just kind of more efficient?
Well, I guess we'll find out.
We're gonna have to, that's way better.
Okay, so-
No problem. That'd be great.
Is the question. You said with the baby monkey, just throw it away. So if you're doing this in human habitation,
I mean, like, yeah, once you, like, this is going to be that, those two months. This is going to be translated into a way for us to do it on humans. We're not just going to make humans and then throw it